from $1 to $1,000. Start strong. Price tag on your first project. Decreasing rate. Should you do it or not? Most lucrative jobs, supposedly.
Welcome to Your Freelance Friends podcast. In this podcast, we're giving you tips and tricks on how to become a successful freelancer. We are here to guide you through your journey and share some things that we have learned along the way to save you time and headaches. Our goal is to provide you with information that you can use for your clients to give them the most value, no matter what your niche or experience level is.
Exactly. So in today's podcast, we are going to talk about starting strong. So putting the price tag on your first project. On the last episode, we were talking about getting the first project. Now we are going to talk about how you should price this project. And then we are going to talk about the concept of decreasing your rate on your next project, and also about most lucrative jobs, or those that are supposedly most lucrative jobs for freelancers. So I guess let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it. So setting your hourly rate or your job rate is one of the most important things to consider when you're starting your freelance journey. It's something you should really weigh heavily and think about your worth accurately, and don't be discouraged by other people's profiles or people wanting to lowball you. Your time is valuable and the right client will understand that. You're going to bring a certain level of quality with your work, and quality is worth something. And again, the right client will see that it's worth paying for. There's always going to be somebody who will do the job for cheaper. Again, the value you're bringing is the real difference here. So don't lowball yourself. Doing that is only going to lead to headaches in the long run when it comes time to raise your hourly rate. Personally, for my first project, again, I think I've talked about this before, I got really, really lucky. I snagged my first project very quickly. I got the hourly rate that was in line with my regular 9-to-5 job that I was just coming from. And there was no negotiation really with that. So that was super, super nice. I will say that client came from California. I am located in the South, and the hourly rates are different. So in doing that, I kind of gave myself a buffer to be okay with having a higher hourly rate. So I would say pay attention to where your client is coming from geographically, because that can help boost your rate.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that a lot of people who are starting, also people who are starting with our agency, they have this feeling that as they don't have much experience as freelancers, they probably should, put their rates really low. So they bid with low rates, and they think that this is the way to get their clients. And I can really rely and just like really feel that, because this is what I felt at the very beginning. I thought, okay, I don't have much experience, so maybe I should, just put as low rate as possible, and maybe then after step by step I will be increasing that. Let me say that I started with rate of $4 per hour, I think. But I can say that because I started not through Upwork, actually. I was starting with an agency that was in Poland, and they were paying in Polish zlotys. This was like minimum hourly rate for Polish worker. And that was after my university, where while like my colleagues are really like already well paid. And I was like, oh, I am just a freelancer. I don't know how to do this job. Maybe I should start really, really low. And first of all, it's not that money motivates me, but I felt like it's so low. Like it's really something that, without any experience in like super basic job, I should do. But like here, I was already putting some skills, some of my knowledge, and I felt that I should price it higher, right? But this rate was given by my agency. I accepted it. My first experience. I was working like that for like 2 or 3 months, and then I started on Upwork, and I realized that, well, my skills are like, I talked with some clients and I realized that actually they value my skills. Actually, they value that I have international experience, that I have few languages that I speak. And I was like, okay, so let me start from $15 per hour. And let me tell you that it was the least that I accepted on Upwork, $15 per hour. And talking from my experience, I can say that this was like my minimum, and then I was quickly upgrading. However, if I was started if I started from $3 per hour on Upwork, then I would go to 15. Like I would need to wait several years to go to 15, right? Because like clients would see, oh, she accepted for $3. Why would I pay her 15 now? But as I started for 15 on Upwork, it was easy to go to 18 and then 20, right? And then more and more. So I would say, what you price yourself at first, what you show your clients that you accept, this is what they see, right? If you value your time for $3 per hour, they will know, okay, so why would they pay her more? But if you explain and if they see your value for 15, they will be able to pay you 15. So it's say the lower you start, the more difficult for you is to upgrade your rate after. Does it make sense?
Exactly. I totally agree with that. Yeah. And I
Sorry
can
for a long
also,
story.
yeah, no, it's good. I can sympathize too with, starting at such a low rate, because there's so much competition now, especially with the pandemic, and you really want to snag your job. But it's so important, guys, to know your worth. This is your time you're giving to somebody. And that's worth, your hourly rate. You're going to be giving these people the quality of work to make their lives easier. So don't shortchange yourself. It's not worth it. As Anna has said, it takes a lot to raise that hourly rate. Everybody's going to be able to see the jobs that you've bid at these lower rates, and they're going to wonder, well, why is your rate higher now if you've taken these jobs for such a low rate? So just try to stay positive and don't lowball yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think that as a starting freelancer, okay, if you really don't know what you're doing and you have no experience, I wouldn't even start. I think that I wouldn't start like freelancing career like if you had zero skills, right?
You need a
at
little
least at
experience.
least at least know what you are doing and why you are offering this specific, like if you don't have any experience in marketing or you don't know anything about marketing, you cannot be marketing specialist and price yourself as a $30 or $50 or $100 per hour, right? You cannot. It's not what it's worth. Your skills are not worthy that. However, if you have some experience, don't be afraid to put price tag on it. This is what I would like to say. And I see that right now when there's so much competition and there's always someone who can do similar work for lower, I feel that freelancers have this, like this anxiety that they will not get projects because they are pricing higher. And this takes us to the topic of should you decrease your rate or you should not. Rita, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so there have been times where I have decreased my rate slightly, just if I'm not busy. I have taken it down, but again, slightly. I would say pick a range, right? You pick a range within the rate that you deserve, that you work for, and you stick within that range. And, again, weigh this heavily. And if I have taken a client or a job that's a bit below my hourly rate, I will tell the client that, this is not very customary for me, but I really like this job and I'd like to explore the opportunity. So I advise them up front that, hey, I'm worth more, but I'm willing to do it because this job interests me, or maybe I'm not busy, or whatever the reason is. And again, with the pandemic, it was tempting at first when everything, the world melted down at first, to really drop that hourly rate. But I actually didn't end up taking a job at a lower rate. And I was actually able to raise my rate during the pandemic, because even during a pandemic, there are clients out there that will find value in what you're doing. And those are the people you want to work for, because as much as they're investing in your time, you're also investing in their time. So you want it to be worthwhile for both parties. And those are the people that you want to be working these freelance jobs for.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I need to say that in general, when I'm like advising people who work with us or talking with people who ask me what they should do, sorry, in general, I say that they shouldn't decrease their rates. My main argument against decreasing rate is, well, if you are doing similar type of job, so let's imagine that you're executive assistant, and if you're providing executive assistance to the next client, I always say to clients that it would be unfair towards my previous clients to charge
Right.
something lower now.
Good point.
And this is what I really feel like. If you charge another client, why would you do that? So I think that I have two situations in which I would decrease the rate. First of all, is if you are working not through Upwork. So like right now we are talking about working through Upwork, but the Upwork also cuts 20% of our hourly rate, right? So, well, if you get 25, you get 20 in your pocket.
Right.
So if I work with client who is not on Upwork, if I work directly with a client, worked right now, I'm not working anymore as a freelancer, but if I worked directly with a client, I was able to charge less, right? And I felt this is fair. And I talked with the client and I said, okay, if I'm working on the platform, I'm charging more. If we are not working through the platform, I'm able to charge less, right? This is one example. The second
Mhm.
example is when client offer, or if, yeah, when client offers something that is not monetary incentive, but I know that I can get. So basically what I mean by that is that I have clients, or I had clients with whom I worked for lower hourly rate because they would teach me. They would spend their time in teaching me something. So this
Mhm.
was even more valuable than my work. So it was like a
Mhm.
barter. I was
Mhm.
giving my work for lower hourly because they were giving me something in as an exchange for that.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
felt that they appreciated it because they could pay me less, right? And I also appreciate it because it was something that even improved me working for them. And
Mhm.
it showed that I have this will of improving on my role, right? So
Mhm.
I felt that this is great because, well, you are learning from someone who knows that actually it even improves his own business if he teaches you. They are
Right.
happy to they are happy to teach you. So if you're on the position and you know that your boss has this availability to teach you something that is valuable for you, you can negotiate it in your rate, right? So this is something
Mhm.
that I would advise, but for the very reason like decreasing the rate because of the pandemic, I wouldn't say that this is a great idea. Sometimes we are like impatient because we cannot get jobs and we are without project and we feel okay, I should probably decrease. But it's difficult to come back and it's difficult to justify to next clients why would you charge after again your higher rate. So it is tricky. I'm not saying never do it, but I'm saying think about it twice or apply for more projects. I know that it's difficult. I know it might take some days to get the project, but try to keep your rate and then yeah, decide for yourself with the arguments that we probably already explained.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that it's got to bring value to you if you're going to drop your rate a little bit. And then again, don't, decrease your rate by half. Make it an incremental
Or
decrease,
that, yeah.
so it's still worth your time, and make sure you're getting something out of it, because the overall goal here is to get the best rate possible for yourself. And don't shoot yourself in the foot just because you're a week or a day or whatever without work. There are so many more postings out there. Just take the time and go through the motions, and you will land the right client that will pay you the hourly rate you deserve.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's something actually, the other spectrum, on the other side of this topic is putting very high rates. So I see that some people on freelancing platforms, they put like rate of, I don't know, $30 per hour, right? And then you see the project that they have and it's $3 per hour or five
Right.
dollars per hour. I think that this is also not a great strategy because, well, when you are applying, the client actually see the rate of on your profile. So if they are like if they have a tight budget, they will not take you because they see this $30 per hour. But if
Hmm.
they saw the hourly rate that you actually accept, they would take you. So I'm not saying don't put a bit higher than you are accepting. Maybe they will pay you, but if it's like 10 times higher than you normally accept, it doesn't make any sense. So
It
it
has to
doesn't
make
make
sense.
sense to have, yeah. So if you are charging 25 and you put 26 as your profile, and then you decrease $1 and you accept $1 lower, it's fine. But if
Fine.
you are working with $10 per hour, it doesn't make any sense to put $50 per hour. Like it
Right.
just works against your business, right? So
Right.
be careful about that.
It doesn't make you look good. It doesn't
Yeah,
make
it doesn't
somebody want
make
to
you look
hire you.
good. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. um Okay, so one more topic that we would like to talk about today is those best paid projects, right? Since we are focused pretty much on like let's say assistant jobs and project management jobs, but there are several other types of jobs that we could talk about, and we actually, let me share my screen. I actually can you see my screen now?
Not yet. Yep, it's coming up now. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So actually, I saw some websites that sum up the best paid positions on Upwork. And here we can see on Forbes, actually from Forbes, there was a sum up on Upwork, top Upwork skills and the average hourly rates. And we can see that, like, wow, even $250 per hour for a legal entity structuring for Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin experts, I believe, for software licensing, $200, for trademark consulting, 180. I'm just seeing, like, I'm just talking about the examples. There's a whole list, but what we can see is that actually working on Upwork as an experienced person with a specific very specific skills, you can also get very good rate. So what I want to say is that Upwork is not only for people who are starting their career or only for people who are not having very specific skills, but also for people who are actually very much experienced. And we actually have in a team one team member who has like 15 years of experience, and he worked in IT. Cristobal, regards to you. And well, his rate is also higher, and those people also find jobs on Upwork. I also saw here on CNBC that there are like job categories like corporate law, and they would charge $85 per hour, and they can get like annual income of $170,000. So if you are experienced hire, you can get like full-time well
Salary.
salary, exactly, working as a freelancer. So to those people who are considering if freelancing is for them because they are already a long time in the business, feel invited. This is what I wanted to say. And let's jump to Upwork. Let's see what Upwork says. So let's see. Since we are talking about virtual assistants, let's see what kind of rates do we have for virtual assistants. So we can see that there are like $6 per hour, $18.75, $10. They seem to be on the lower spectrum, I would say, lower side, 12, 15, 8. However, let us see, above $60 per hour.
Still plenty.
Yeah, virtual senior executive assistant, $75 per hour. Yeah, corporate yoga and meditation coach and virtual assistant, 75,000. 75,000. No, I was seeing the 5,000 that she already earned. $75 per hour, $100 per hour. So it seems that for the same name of the position, I'm not saying that they have the same positions in the companies that they work for, but for the same name, there are so many different types of rates that I would say, well, everyone has to understand what kind of value they provide to clients and understand, maybe see your country, what are the prices of freelancers from your country, what are the prices of people with similar experiences you have. So if you have 2 years of experiences as, I don't know, a project manager, see what kind of rates those people with this experience have, and this would make more sense, I think, when finding your perfect rate.
Yep. it's all based on your experience and the skills you have, and also geographically where you're located. Those are all very, very good points to bring up. And it's good to show that, as many low rates there are on Upwork, there are just as many high rated freelancers. So again, weigh your worth. Personally, as I've worked more as a freelancer and as my profile presence has grown, I have been able to raise my rate, just incrementally, as you would with any job, getting your annual reviews and your annual pay increases. So now I keep my profile as my base rate, which is my best paid rate. And then I can, negotiate from there. And that is in line with the jobs that I've taken on Upwork, because as Anna has mentioned, they're going to be able to see my previous projects, what I was paid, and also my profile rate, just a bird's eye view of clicking on my profile. Personally, I've worked hard to get to my rate, and I feel if a client doesn't want to pay that rate, that's fine, but there's hundreds more fish in the sea, and I will find a client who understands my value, and that's the client I want to work with. And just as I mentioned before, I think they're investing in me just as I am investing in them. So it's a two-way street. And, I feel strongly that I bring this value and this is my rate, and that's where we leave it.
Exactly that. And also, you are competing with international let's say international competition, international pool. So use this opportunity. So if you are from a country that usually have lower paid rates, for example, like you, Rita, in United States, people are better paid than in Poland. So I can use this opportunity to work with United States based clients because they are able to pay more, right?
Absolutely.
Than my Polish clients. So
absolutely.
Being in this area and working for international clients is also an opportunity. So let's sum up what we just said. So don't price too high, but know your worth, right?
Right.
So don't get crazy and don't price more than your time is worth for your client. But know that if clients want to work with you, they need to value your time, and they know that your good work will bring the money back, right? So yeah. put the right rate on your skills. That's the meaning of this episode, I guess.
Yeah, and stick to it. And you want to go up, not down overall.
Exactly. Okay, so I guess this is everything for today. We wish that you have very good rates on your profiles and that you are able to get the projects and clients who are able to pay for those rates. And well, see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.